And just relax. Just use your knowingness. Is there anything around you right now?
I see a fairy.
I love fairies.
It's kind of laughing at me.
That's kind of the fairy thing, actually. Fairies are about the funniest ones around there is. Um, okay, and this is like outside, maybe over by with some of the plants or flowers, trees, mushrooms, something like that.
Yes, I'm trying to keep there.
So let's go over here and let's just say hi to the fairy and see if the fairy wants to talk to us.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello there, little fairy. How are you doing today?
She says I haven't been visiting.
She misses you, or does she think it's
Yeah,
for your own good? Like you need to come here for some other reason?
I need to go there for several reasons. I know that.
Talk to us. Tell me about it.
I'm supposed to be meeting the queen to get infused with information regularly,
Hmm. Like once a week, once a month, once a day? What?
weekly at least.
Okay. And that'd be the queen of the fairies
Yeah,
or some other queen?
the queen of the fairies.
Okay. So, and you get kind of like downloads.
Yes, yes. They want me to learn, more using plants as
Oh.
medicine and for healing,
Oh, okay.
and also how to start growing them, taking
Okay.
care of.
And as far as plants that she can grow where she's at now, that would be medicinal. Is there a couple good ones for her to get started with? She was going to start growing a couple
Lemon
plants.
balm. Lemon balm.
Lemon balm. Okay. Anything else?
Focus on learning for now.
Okay. Okay. And when she starts
Pra-
growing these, say that again.
Practice, but still learn as far as learning about the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Practice,
Okay.
but she can't. This is an apartment, and they spray pesticides, so the ability to grow is
Uh,
limited.
okay. Okay. So at some point in time, she's probably going to be called to move somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And but the queen will probably tell her when that time is.
She'll know.
She'll know. Okay. Perfect. And so the proper process for her to follow is to maybe just kind of go into a meditation, come to her sacred place, and then set the intention to see the queen for that week's download.
Yes.
Okay. Can we meet the queen now?
Yes.
All right. And would you like to take us to her or would you like to bring her to us? Which way is the best?
We can go.
All right. So if you will lead the way and we'll go ahead and follow this nice little fairy there. And as we're following the fairy, what is this fairy wearing? I mean, what does it look like? Can you describe to me this fairy?
She's wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little dress. Her face. She's small,
Mm-hmm.
more gnome small size than
Mm-hmm.
Tinkerbell small size,
Okay.
and her face is a little bug-like, mixed with
Mm-hmm.
human.
Yes, I've heard that before. Like some of them kind of look like almost like ladybugs, I think.
I've never seen a ladybug's face really.
Okay. Does she have like any like antennas or anything like that on her?
No.
Okay. Oh, let's ask the fairy. What's her name? If she has one.
Sounds like a hana ha, but I know I'm just not hearing it clearly.
Ahana ha. I
I'm
like.
not hearing it clearly. That's like the rhythm of it.
Right. because I kind of like the sound of that actually. So I'm just going to ask her here. Can we can call you Ahana Ha? Would that work for you?
She likes Hannah. Hannah.
Hannah. Okay, that even works better for us. All right. So Hannah, how long has it been since Lisa has come to visit you like this?
In her place, 2 months.
2 months. Okay. Yeah, in our time, right? And where is this place? Is this on Earth or is this on another dimension or where are we?
We're in lower middle world.
Okay. Middle world?
Yeah, lower middle world.
Okay. So that means like is that the same as like inner Earth? Like
No.
Agartha? No, okay. Lower middle world.
It's similar but not the same
Okay.
place.
Okay.
Similar in dimensionality.
Okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. And probably connected to the mythical realm somehow, I'm guessing.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
wonderful.
Etheric.
Etheric version. Okay, sure, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And are all the fairies here? Are they all female, or are there males too?
There's males.
Okay, I'm just curious.
They're approaching the castle.
Oh, how big is the castle?
Looks big to me.
All right, big enough that you can fit inside.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. You
Some
know we
of
could.
them are quite large.
Oh, good, good. Well, you know we could always shrink you down if we needed to as well, right?
Pan is large, so is the queen.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can already see the queen.
No, but I remember.
All right. Do you ever see these guys in dreams or anything like that?
I I don't remember so much, but I remember one dream where I was a wood nymph.
Okay.
I was human sized, but I was a wood nymph, and I was dancing in circles around trees and laughing.
Yes, one of my favorite things is to ask a fairy which job you should work because they just laugh at you. They don't think any of them make sense. I love that fairy energy though, you know, it's so upbeat and happy and such a great energy to visit. You know, if you're ever feeling down or something like that, I don't see why you wouldn't come here if you could, right? Can't you just feel the cheerfulness in the air?
It's different. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah, try to
They
pick up the
shut the
vibe.
lights out. Did you see? They shut the lights out in here, but she was communicating to me that so I can focus better. It's more like
Yes, I
better.
did notice that actually. And it threw me off for a little bit, but I just tried to ignore it. But it seems to be working fine, so it's good. It's good. All right. So as we're going to see this queen, are you seeing any like non-fairies? Are there other things here other than fairies?
There's some ascended masters in this same world, but not here.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Okay. Perfect. They visit this area sometimes.
Some of them prefer to stay here.
I can't blame them. It seems like a
Most,
pretty cheerful place, right?
I can see it. I'm saying hi to the queen.
Hello there, Queen. Very nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry that it's been so long. We've gotten the message through now, and Lisa will come. Once a week is good. You like that number?
That's a start.
Okay. Well, we'll let her see how it goes from there. And then the purpose will be for her to download information about plants and specifically plants as medicine. Is that right?
Yes, and to visit her family.
Oh, who's her family?
All of us.
Oh, so did you guys sent her to Earth at this time on some kind of a special mission? Or did she just choose to incarnate on her own?
Both. It was offered up as an option,
Hmm.
and she took that option.
Okay. And how long do fairies live, by the way?
Fairies can expire lower dimensionally,
Hmm.
but once you cross the threshold of sixth dimension, you no longer have to die if you don't want to.
Okay. That's
And
perfect.
it's different. It's different. You transfer your energy, but
Hmm.
you don't. Even fifth dimensional, you more transfer than. It's not like with humans where you forget everything and there's pain.
Right. And so most of the time you would just come back as a fairy again if that were to happen, or
If I
not.
choose to,
Right.
I choose to.
Okay.
Everything evolves. Everything evolves.
Right, right. Otherwise, what would be the point? Yeah. So how many lifetimes did Lisa have as a fairy, or how long was she a fairy for before she became a human?
Several times at different points. She's been human on and off. She's been fairy on and off.
Okay. So she'll tend to kind of live a life as human, then kind of come back to the fairies to kind of really remember who she is, and then she comes back here again.
Yes.
Wow, that's really nice. And I'd imagine that when she comes, it's not just for fun; it's for a reason.
Sometimes it's for fun.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, I suppose.
home. It's home. That's a
Right.
better way to say it. It's home.
Right. That makes sense. Now you seem pretty wise here, Queen of the Fairies. Would it be okay if I asked you a few of Lisa's questions?
Sure.
Okay, and yeah, whatever you can answer, great. If you can't, then that's fine too. We'll ask them to somebody else later on. Um, she is feeling some pain around some of her angel chakras, middle upper back, inside parts of the blade. It seems to move around in a little bit of a rhythm sometimes, especially when she lifts heavy things. But sometimes if she gets a massage, the problem comes right back. Do you know what's going on with that?
Part of it is the ascension process. Part of it is her response to spirit.
Hmm.
Part of it is just her body in combination with that.
Right. Because she says it feels like she's growing in some way.
That can happen.
Okay.
That can happen with especially accelerated ascension.
Okay. And would we say that she's on a path of accelerated ascension at this time, or soon will be?
She has been on a path of accelerated ascension.
Okay.
She's been ascending slowly since, well, almost since she was a child.
Okay.
But it's sped up in the past year a great deal.
Okay. And this reminds me, she got Crohn's disease. She was diagnosed at the age of 11. Seems really young for that. Does that have anything to do with her ascension process, or anything else on a
It has to
spiritual
do with
level?
her sensitivities.
Oh, right, because as a fairy, she's just naturally more sensitive to certain things, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
She
And
was brought up on, she wasn't brought up on fast food, but her parents would cook a lot of home cooked processed food.
right, right, stuff you buy in a box, or
Yes.
like, I don't know, like Hamburger Helper or something. I'm just making things up, but okay.
Like chicken.
Okay. Okay. So basically what it was is that it's a food sensitivity, and it was just based on the food that was in the house at the time.
And an energetic sensitivity.
Oh. And was this due to people that she lived with, or due to the land she lived on?
Due to the people she lived with, but she had to learn how to deal with such things. She had to learn how to handle such situations, even if that means getting out of those situations. She also had to learn how to repair herself,
Mm-hmm. It's
how to forgive, how to forgive.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And this is why it hasn't given her any problems in the last year, huh? It's because
Correct.
she's learned these lessons. Okay. So let me ask you this then. As somebody that has Crohn's disease, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm related to fairies or that I have a food sensitivity. It could be a whole different reason that I have it, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you very much. Wow, this is great. Okay, so the next question is, well, first of all, I want to talk about this thing in the back again. We, it feels like it's a pretty natural process that's going on there, but I mean, the muscles do get tight. And is there anything she can do to kind of minimize the negative effects of this part of her growth?
Stretching.
Okay. Okay. She could look up some stretches online and oh, I saw her do one earlier and she said that felt really good. Okay.
Yes, she needs to use her yoga swing,
Yoga swing. Okay.
invert, and be aware of her posture.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Be mindful. She tends to tense up her shoulders when she's stressed or feels unsafe. She needs to just be mindful.
Oh. So this is the place where she will store a lot of her stress. And so she would just not store it there or not accumulate it at all, then she'll be better off.
Well, she's lived in settings before where she was pretty much tensed up and curled up much of the time, so she just needs to learn how to posture herself and
Right. It's at this
not
point.
regress.
Right. So at this point in time, it's almost more like just force of habit type of thing. It's not that she needs to do it anymore.
Yes.
Okay. And so as she is mindful of that, and she realizes, oh, hey, I'm tensing up right now, and she can just relax, and a lot of the pain and tightness is going to go away.
Yes, and she's been very good with that.
That's great. I love to hear that. Okay. So we want to ask, and this might be too vague of a question, but we'll see. She wants to know, how are her chakras and her aura?
She's been doing a lot of chakra work and she's been doing very, very well with it.
All right. And
She needs to continue to nurture her heart and her throat,
okay.
as she should everything, but a little extra attention to the heart and the throat. And
Okay.
that doesn't just mean meditation, that means practicing speaking her truth. That means, saying what's on her mind to people that she
Yes.
should say what's on her mind to instead of holding back.
Right. Letting them kind of maybe walk over her a little bit, or it's hard, because we think, well, we have to open up our heart, so then we think we have to be nice all the time, right? And it's not about not being nice, but it's just about saying, hey, you're standing on my foot, can you get off of it, right?
Exactly. And at times being nice can be cruel.
Yes, because you're not helping those people to move along and learn the lessons that they need to learn.
Yes.
In a sense, you're being an enabler.
Exactly. And sometimes you can lead people in the wrong direction.
Wow, because you had good intentions, but it's not okay. Very interesting. Okay, great. And how about her aura? How's that doing?
It's doing well. She's very strong, very powerful. She needs to
Wow.
learn how to focus her energies.
Okay, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that throughout the course of this session as well. And also when she comes to visit you every week, you'll probably that'll be some of the lessons she gets from you as well.
Yes, all she has to do is ask.
All right. Instead of a meditation, was this something that'd be more sense to do in dream time? Just do it every night when she goes to sleep?
She can, and she does, but when she does, she doesn't remember.
Okay. And is that because of she says a lot of times she has to smoke marijuana to kind of calm down before she sleeps. Do you feel like that's hurting her memory?
In part, in part, she remembers her dreams much better without it.
Okay. Okay. She's asked for advice as far as a way to fall asleep easier without that. Can you give her a trick or some guidance?
She needs to be patient and she needs to stop overextending herself.
Overextending herself in what way?
to going from one thing to another to another. She has too much on her plate
Right.
between her job, her classes.
Hmm. Right, because you need to take time for absorption, right, and integration.
Yes.
And this is a part of the process that we so often we think we're going to make things faster, but we're actually making things slower, huh?
Yes, and it's almost become an addiction for her to fill up every minute of her day, even though she craves downtime.
Right, right. Okay. So let me ask you this. If she were to come visit you, does that count as downtime for her because the body's relaxing?
Yes,
It would? Okay. Well, that's
yes, she
great.
enjoys it. That would be good for her.
All right. Seems like it'd be good for everybody. I love it. Okay, so let me see here. Are her fifth dimensional chakras functioning well?
They're getting there. She's been opening them up. They're about a little over halfway.
Wow, okay. And now for people that might be watching this at a later time that don't know about fifth dimensional chakras, what's the difference between these and any other chakra, or what's the importance of them?
There's the causal chakra,
Hmm.
which allows you to communicate with divine energies and have
Ooh,
that sense of peace and well-being, bliss even.
wow,
The soul star connects you to all the knowledge you've learned in all of your lifetimes.
wow.
It also connects you to ancestral patterns. And then the stellar gateways, well, you can communicate with other beings, obviously, but you could also transport yourself to other places.
Wow. So right in line with everything she really wants to be doing with her life.
Yes.
Okay. And how about the her third eye? What percentage is that open at this time?
It varies. It varies.
That's different. I don't normally hear that.
Um, when she's tuning in, it's much better.
Okay.
When she's not tuning in, it can be 50%. When she is tuning in, it could be 70.
Okay. All right. And in terms of guidance for her specifically and best practices, do you think it makes sense for her to focus on opening that even more, or is it fine where it's at? Sometimes I hear it might be a distraction.
She can focus on opening it a little bit more. It doesn't need to be all the way.
Okay. Okay. But at this point in time, you're saying when she's really focusing on it, it can get up to around 80% anyways, right?
Yes,
Okay.
around.
All right. Well, that seems like plenty for most people to use. All right. Who are
She's
her?
better at seeing things in other worlds than she is on seeing things on the earthly plane.
That's due to a natural aptitude, huh?
Yes,
Okay. And so that's something she should embrace and not be frustrated by.
absolutely.
That's cool. Okay. And so, in a sense, if she were, I'm just going to say a random example. Let's say if she was communicating with somebody on the Pleiades, mentally, she might also be able to see the room that they were in,
Yes,
something along
absolutely.
that lines. Okay. And it seems to me that she would naturally be more apt to communicate with individuals in the mythical realms.
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to tell me about that particular topic that I might be forgetting?
Anywhere that she can imagine, anywhere she has the name of,
Hmm.
she can go there.
Wow. Right, and that's because of these other the fifth dimensional chakras opening up.
Yes.
Okay. And for other people that want to open these chakras, what's the a good route for just the average run-of-the-mill person on the street to go to start opening those up and taking advantage of those?
Meditation.
Okay.
Meditation, intention,
Intention. Okay.
feeding the body well, feeding the mind well.
Okay. Like good diet, sleep. Once again,
Yes.
taking time to recharge and integrate as well, not trying to go
Yeah.
too fast. Okay.
Yes. Sleep is very important because people don't sleep when they meditate, they sleep.
Yeah, right. Okay. And now when I wanted to make sure that is there a tips or tricks you want to give her for falling asleep more quickly? You're just saying don't have your mind so full of stuff when you go to bed and it'll be easier, right?
She needs to be patient, but she can also do 9 breaths. She can also journey. She can journey to
Okay.
see us. She can journey to
Yeah,
the divine plane and heal until she goes to sleep.
that sounds like a great way to go. Okay.
She can Reiki herself, and that's helped her sleep a couple of times.
Okay. But you're just saying it's not that important to fall asleep quickly, right? If you think it's an issue, just go to bed a little earlier.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And just kind of enjoy the process. Don't try to force it.
Yes, she's doing much better than she used to.
Right.
But
But this seems like a time for her where she can really get a lot of her growth done in a day.
yes.
And now she doesn't have to be so busy during the day too. Okay. That's wonderful. I love this. Okay. Who are her closest guides and angels?
Well, she has us. She
Okay.
always has us.
Right.
She also has Archangel Michael,
Okay.
Saint Germain,
Hmm.
a woman named Caroline who used
Caroline.
to own an orphanage, and
Oh.
she worked with children in Africa
Oh wow. Okay.
in the 1800s.
Okay.
Elmora,
Memoria. Okay.
Pallas Athena,
Okay. So she's got
Kuan and Isis help her to
wow.
be more nurturing,
Lisa needs help being more nurturing.
expressing it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she seems very nurturing to me. And I'm looking at the similarity between all these guides, and I'm seeing a lot of ascended masters that are associated with the violet flame. Seems like she's got a real strong connection to that, huh?
Yes, yes. In fact, much of her aura is violet.
Okay. Okay. And so I know that as we go down the list of questions, some of the questions we're going to be asking her about healing and different modalities and what she should learn. I feel like the violet flame, we need to talk about this a little bit with her, don't we?
Yes,
Okay, so the first question is, does she have her own healing modality inside of her waiting to come into the light?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. And does this healing modality involve the violet flame?
At times, yes,
Okay.
not exclusively.
Okay. Right, because she's going to look at people and see what they need.
Yes, and
Okay.
feel and
Okay.
taste.
Ooh, okay. And she's going to use plants to make the cure for them.
It's treatment.
Right. Okay. Okay. What else can you tell me about Lisa's personal healing modality and how she can bring it to the people?
She'll be able to integrate the use of herbs as well as sound and aromatherapy, as well as energy to do something very special and unique.
Holy moly. So sometimes where she's learning so much and I think, wow, you're really piling a lot in there. It seems like she needs to know a lot.
Yes, but she does need to take things a little slower.
Okay. Okay. And talk to me about the integration of sound into this. Would this be her voice, or just more like the singing bowls, or musical instruments, or what?
Tones.
Tones.
Yes.
Okay. Has she
Tuning
learned
forks,
anything?
bowls,
Doing what?
tuning forks, singing bowls.
Okay. Okay. All right. And does she already know this part of the modality, or is there more for her to learn there?
There's a lot more for her to learn, although she knows a little bit.
Okay. So she's just gotten started down that road. All right.
Yes, yes, she's familiar with solfeggio, but there's all different frequencies for different organs and parts of the body.
Okay. Yes, and so she could talk to somebody. They're going to tell her, "Oh, my stomach hurts," and then she's going to make the proper tone and the proper tincture treatment, whatnot, to go with it.
Yes.
Okay. And she's going to need to be able to look at the person and see things beyond what they say also, right?
Yes, and she does this very well already.
She's very good at this already. Yes.
But she has to learn how to trust herself because people don't like to admit all the time what's wrong.
Oh, right. So you, as somebody that has a, let's say, a good intuition, you'd say, "Oh, I got this feeling about you," and somebody will go, "No, no, 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 that's not me."
Exactly.
Okay. And she says sometimes she looks at people and it seems like she could see their past and their future. What's going on there?
Well, in a sense, the future has already happened, so she's seeing the result of the course as it stands now.
Right, but it's just a probability.
Yes.
So with that knowledge, how much responsibility does that give her to? I mean, you know how it is. Like sometimes you tell somebody the way you're going is not a good way, and they're not going to listen to you. Right. So should she be when she sees? Okay, let me slow down here. If she were to look at somebody, look into the future, and see a potentially negative, harmful outcome, should she say something or should she not say something?
Yes, usually, but delicately so.
Okay.
And in the end, it's that person's choice whether to listen or whether to find out for themselves.
Right. So you just present it as delicately as you can, as subtle as you can, and then you've done your job and it's up to them if they want to do their job.
Yes.
Right. Because if somebody is drinking themselves to death, for all we know, they want to drink themselves to death. And that's their
Yes.
choice. Okay. All right. We don't know what drives them. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
In a situation like that, all that is really appropriate is to show them a different way and they choose whether to go that way.
Let them know that there's people that care, that actually care that you're here, and maybe
Yeah.
you might want to stick around, right?
Yes.
Okay. And excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. We were talking about her healing modality. We talked about her looking at people. This part of that is going to be developing the third eye as well, right? You're saying she's pretty good at that already.
Yes.
Okay. Then we're going to develop toning and food recipes, plant medicine. And is there a part? I feel like I missed part of the equation in there somewhere. There's so much. Am I missing anything in there?
Well, she'll have to learn how to put it all together, and she won't be able to do it all by herself.
Meaning she'll need help from the fairy realms and her guides, or
She'll
from
need
another
help from
person.
humans. She'll need help from humans, even if that means just having someone to make certain things for her or to help with planting things or
Right.
building, maintenance. She'll need help. She'll need help. She has dreams to buy a homestead. And she certainly can't run that by herself.
Okay. Okay. Right. And so it's going to come down to teamwork and kind of we call it like finding your tribe, I guess, right? Like the people that resonate with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have to kind of keep your eyes open for, oh, this is somebody that might be handy down the road or somebody that might be handy right now.
Yes.
Because as an example, where she lives in an apartment right now, if she had a friend that had a large backyard, she might say, hey, can we grow some plants in your backyard that'll heal people?
Yes. But being as sensitive as she is, she needs to have discernment about who she shares a roof with. And she has trust issues that she needs to nurture and help overcome.
Because she's had it kind of go bad for her a couple times recently.
Exactly. She needs to be solitary right now. All
Okay.
of that happened for a reason. She needs to focus on herself right now.
Yeah, she's got so much going on. She can't have anybody else's problems or distractions or weird little flights of fancy. She's got enough of those of her own, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when it's time for her to open the house back up or to share her space with other people, she'll know when, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so now her next question was, who am I? And I guess we would say you're a fairy, right?
Yes.
Is there any more to it than that she would like to know?
She was one of the first.
One of the first fairies? Or one of the first souls? One of the first humans? What?
One of the first fairies. The fairies in this universe came right after the archangels.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. So, can you tell me anything about how the creation of the universe and just kind of the first few things and what order it came in?
Well, it started with a tone.
A tone, right?
That
Sound is
tone,
always. Go ahead.
yes, and that tone eventually exploded into what you have today.
Okay. So all the physical things, the planets, the suns, and the space between them.
Yes.
Okay. And
Everything in between.
okay. And then the archangels came next.
Yes.
Okay. Was there
It was
anything?
near simultaneous.
All the archangels,
Archangels, well, the higher angels, I'll say, because there are the seraphs,
right?
the thrones. They,
Yes.
their creation was near simultaneous to everything.
Okay.
They are very close to being God themselves. They don't even have
Right.
free will. They just act on, the source's free will.
Right. That makes sense. And they had to come about at the same time as everything because they were required to give everything the solidity to as a way to hold space for everything.
Yes,
And so nobody intended them to come forward. They were just such a thing was needed and therefore it was.
correct.
So cool.
It would keeps everything in place.
Yes, yes, good. We have a similar thing up in our Hall of Remembering where there's like these four kind of angels in the corner and they just keep the place there. And so that's kind of what I was wondering if it was the same type of thing.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. By the way, Queen of the Fairies, do you have a name that I can call you?
Rose.
Rose. Rose, it is so wonderful to meet you and to make your acquaintance. I've talked to fairies on a few other occasions. They're some of my favorite entities to communicate with, but I just find you to be very enjoyable and I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I love your answers. Okay, so now I want to talk just a little bit more about this creation of the universe. You've got a tone, all the physical things, all the things that were required to keep the physical things there and physical, and then what? Then all the suns fire up and you get light, or did that all happen at the same time?
It was
What
all at
came?
the same time.
Okay, and then we're talking about at this point the planets are just floating rocks. There's no life on them yet. How long until life comes on the planets?
I wouldn't know how to describe that in a time frame.
Right, right, because there wasn't time then, anyways, right?
No.
Okay.
Time is very much a human creation.
Right, right, right. Yeah, it's a silly question in that context. All right, so let's move on to her questions here. I'll get back on track. She wants to know if there's any suggestions for quitting smoking. She seems like she's gotten very far down, just 3 or 4 cigarettes a day. Is that really holding back her growth, that few?
It would help her throat to stop entirely.
Okay.
but she's not stunting herself in a significant way either.
Right. So just choice. Okay.
Yeah.
And but I've often heard this, that if you really want to quit something and you're really having trouble with it, you could ask for your team to help you, and they're going to give you their willpower on top of yours as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So if it is something she really wants to move forward it's something she really wants to move forward with, she can go to the fairies and to her guides, these ascended masters. She can say, "You guys, will you help me?" And they will help her, and it will become much easier, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right. And the marijuana to go to sleep, does that affect the spiritual growth?
It can, not significantly, but I would suggest that she get to a place that she doesn't need to use it almost every night.
Right. Because the thing is that for her, anyways, we don't want to speak for anybody else, but for her, first of all, she could be taking advantage of this time that it takes to fall asleep to travel and to learn. And this would just be a better way to fall asleep. And if she does it that way, she's much more likely to remember the things that she learns.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Exactly. That's the biggest way it's stunting her, honestly.
It's the
The
memory.
only Yeah, the only other thing is that, it weakens her protection, but
Hmm.
she's gotten a lot better with that.
Right. She's so protected, it almost doesn't matter.
I wouldn't say it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but every once at night, it doesn't matter with that as
Okay.
much.
All right. I got it. All right. And what is her strongest psychic ability?
She's very good with telepathy, which covers just about everything. Her best is clairvoyance and clairsentience, though.
Clairvoyance and clairsentience. Okay. All right. Perfect. So if she wants to work on her natural aptitudes and make them better, those would be the ones to work on.
Yes.
Okay. And those seems like those would be super helpful as healing anyways, right? When she gets
Yes.
more into that. All right. What does she need to work on the most in order to grow the quickest?
Her ego has taken a back seat, but it would benefit her to let it go further in back of the bus.
Okay. How does the ego slow things down for her?
And, making sure she looks perfect and
Hmm. This is time that could be spent doing other things.
yes.
Okay. All right. All right. And just a moment here. So she's asking about, she's learning so many things in terms of stuff that will help her with her healing modality down the road, and her spiritual development. And the question is really, what should I focus on? Well, if I'm going to narrow things down a little bit and do one at a time, which one would be the most important to do first?
She would do well to focus on practicing for now the modality she's already learned, continue with the shamanism and Reiki,
Hmm.
and maybe in between study some plants
Hmm.
and a little bit of sound.
Okay.
Start with the plants, and when she's better versed with that, then move on to sound.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. And what is her purpose and role here with this dimensional paradigm shift specifically?
To offer a safe place for people to heal, an affordable place to add heart, to add more heart.
Okay. Okay. And it almost sounds like this is too early for this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways because it's hers. How can she segue uh, to the healing as a job?
She's on the right track, but she she needs to let go of the fear, the little lack of confidence she still has.
Like, is she good
So
enough?
yes, and she needs to practice more so she'll have that confidence.
Okay. And then I would imagine the other feel would be, can I attract clients the way I can do now?
Yes.
Right. And is there any guidance towards that? I mean, I feel like it's if you build it, they will come, right? If once she gets to that point, they're going to find her.
Yes.
Okay. Because I've always felt like my clients get guided to me by their guides or their higher self, right? I don't find them; they find me, right?
Yes.
And so the same thing would be for her when she is a close to a finished product and she's ready for people in her mind, then the people will come to her,
Yes.
and she'll not need to be insecure about having enough to provide and to help people or stable. She won't have to worry about being stable herself.
Yes, and she doesn't have to do exactly everything she wants to do right now. She would do well to just start with Reiki, start with
Right.
some of the shamanic techniques, and then
Right.
when she's ready and has the
Yeah.
resources, move on to making it bigger.
Right, right. And so kind of she could do sort of a half and half thing, and that would still be satisfying.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then someday you go 3/4 and 1/4, and then all of a sudden you're 100 and you're 0, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. She saw some orbs a couple weeks ago. What was that all about? Bigger ones, smaller ones? Can you tell us about that?
They were passing through. She
Oh,
prays every day for us to help her little friends stay happy and comfortable.
mhm.
And that's what that was.
Like her pets?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so it was you guys.
Yes, we play with them.
Ah, so nice, so nice. All right. So she was praying and her prayers got answered. That's so neat to know.
Yeah.
That's going to make a person feel really good. How long do you suppose it will take for Gaia to reach the fifth dimension?
Can take anywhere from 10 to 20 years, depending on the choices.
Mhm. What people do?
Yes.
Okay. And is this planetary ascension going to be more permanent this time, or is it going to be temporary again?
We hope it will be more permanent.
Okay, that's the plan, but there again, that'll be up to people's choices, right? If they decide they want
Yeah.
to go through all the junk again, then they can get what they want, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, but when this happens, won't there be two versions of the Earth? Like an old version for people that didn't want to come, and a new one for people that did. Is that right?
For a short while,
Mm-hmm.
those who do not wish to ascend, though, will not reincarnate here.
Oh, okay. So they would
So
just
the
finish out
time,
their life, and then that other Earth is going to disappear.
yes, there will always be a small amount of opposition for balance,
Oh, even
but
in the 5D version, there's going to be some opposition.
very small amount, but yes.
Okay. Wow, I did not know that. Learn
Fifth
something every day.
dimension is not perfect, it's just a step up.
Right, right. And then the goal is to even go to seventh dimension someday from there, right? Isn't that what Gaia wants to do?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, super cool. Can you say anything to me about my role in this ascension process or what I should be doing? How I will be helping people?
You're already helping people. And if you keep on your path, you'll keep on discovering and
All right. It's been super fun so far, so that's just what I was hoping to hear. In fact, I'm so happy I'm getting a little emotional right now, just from such a silly thing. How about this? We're planning on getting our team back together, doing some grid working for the planet. Should we invite Lisa to participate in that, or is she going to be too busy with her stuff?
You can ask her.
All right, we will. All right. And here's an interesting question. There's a thing where every now and then she burns a fingerprint into something. What is that?
That's a surge.
Like electricity or some type of other energy, etheric energy?
Kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that just like an ascension symptom? Is this a sign that she's out of control and not thinking focused enough? What do we need to know about this surge?
One thing it could be is taking in too much light without intention. Another, it could just also be a surge of energy. She's, not releasing enough energy in the proper way.
Okay. So is there a healthy release for her? Should she do on some kind of a regular basis?
She just needs to keep meditating.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, though, is that you're bringing in energy. There's a blockage somewhere.
She does have a little blockage still between her head and throat.
Okay.
But she's been working on it.
Okay. And so when one way that she'll know that that is handled is, first of all, it's going to feel better there, but also because she will stop putting fingerprints into things.
Yes.
Unless she wants to. Could she do that on purpose?
No.
No. Okay.
She was unaware that any of that happened.
Okay. So now this next question, she says, if she is already ascended, where is she ascending to after here? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't want her to worry about that.
All right. Okay. She's been told that she's an indigo. Does that mean she has to be a warrior and be ready to fight? Is that part of being an indigo?
No. She's a spiritual warrior, not a physical warrior.
Right. Is she an indigo?
Yes.
Okay. And so I run into a lot of people out there that are either are indigos or think they're indigos. Can you tell us some things about indigos that they need to know about themselves and some misconceptions that they might commonly have?
They're going through an ascension process too, except it isn't into 5. It's just into 5 while they're here.
Mm-hmm. So the indigos might end up somewhere slightly different than a lot of the other people.
Yes, unless they choose to stay here.
Okay. And the other place would be like another dimension, or maybe back to their galactic origins, or what's the difference in the deal or the contract that indigos have versus other, let's say, regular people and or maybe even other starseeds?
The indigos and starseeds are very similar. Very,
Okay.
very similar.
Okay.
The difference with human contracts is they don't have the option to go straight up. Nobody has the option really to go straight up.
Right.
But they're still a different part in their growing process.
Okay. And they're more tied to this planet.
Yes.
Right. That makes sense.
Higher dimensions vibrate higher, which means their particles literally vibrate faster. It would be a complete shock to move too high too fast.
Makes absolute sense. Makes absolute sense. And for the average person that is going to the what we call the new Earth, when they get there, what type of body would they have? Is it going to be a light body or a crystal body or just a carbon body, silicon body? What kind of body are they going to have when they get there?
It's the same physical body, just with a couple of upgrades.
Okay.
It's more what you do for yourselves that's going to improve
Right, like
everything.
quality of life type of thing.
Yes,
Because we're not going to be fighting with each other and worrying about power and control and domination and money and these types of things.
exactly.
That's the main difference. Other than just you said just a little bit of conflict.
Yes, and upon opening the heart and doing it right, the lifespan increases a great, great deal.
Oh, super cool. Super cool. Okay. So, because you always hear about how people used to live really long way back in the day, like even 800, 900 years and things like this
Yes, the average life expectancy used to be more like 900 years
and
for third dimensional beings.
for third dimensional beings.
Yes,
Wow. And that was based on diet, the atmosphere, and the
and
openness of their heart.
the heart, the heart was very big.
Wow. I'm sorry. So, how does the heart extend lifespan?
It fuels the whole body to love and be loved and do so unconditionally
So,
in that divine way that expects nothing.
what that means is that
It's a chain
you
reaction.
go ahead. Go ahead.
It's a chain reaction.
So, what I'm hearing is that when your heart is open, you will be able to receive more energy from source. And that's
Yes.
why you live longer. That's going
Yes.
to defeat the aging process because things aren't going to, you won't decay.
Yes. And it's also acting in line with the divine soul blueprint.
Holy moly. Wow, that's cool. So now, if we're talking about the same person as those original 3D people and they are suddenly in 5D, they might even go longer than the 900 years, like double.
Yeah. 2000.
Wow. Super cool. Very, very interesting. Man, I was just trying to hit, I was just shooting for 300. I didn't, I got to make my goals higher, I think. Thank you, Rose. I love this information you're giving me, and I hope that it'll be helpful to a lot of people out there, by the way. So let's see here if I got a few more questions for her. Just give me a moment here. So the problems that she had with the identity issues and some of the people that had lived with her, that all happened on purpose, and that was just to kind of make her realize that she needs to be by herself for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes during meditations or when she's going to sleep, she feels a real tingling sensation. Can you tell me what that's all about?
That's her raising vibration, and she's very sensitive to crystals.
Oh, so she's getting the energy off of some of her crystals that she'll be wearing or something like that.
Yes, yes, and her own vibration is increasing.
Wonderful. And sometimes she's in a bath, she feels like she almost gets touched when she's in there. What's that?
She's feeling the oils, usually.
Oh, so they kind of have a sort of a life of their own, similar to the crystals?
Yes.
Very interesting. Okay. Is that something that she'll use in her healing practice, maybe, that she'll prescribe to people?
Yes.
And she'll probably be making her own oils, right? Someday? No, she'll have somebody
Possibly.
make them for her, but
She'll
she'll
be
know what
making
she needs.
synergies for sure. She'll certainly be making synergies.
Okay, perfect. And there again, you said, there's it's teamwork because it's a very involved thing that she's doing there.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so the Reiki class and all the tunaments that she got from that a couple of weeks ago, everything's going perfect there, and there's nothing to worry about with that.
She's doing well.
All right. In a past life, she thinks she might have been starved to death. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And Rose, are there any past lives that are affecting this life negatively right now for her?
Yes.
Okay.
She has
Beautiful.
had a few lives in which she has had problems with her neck, which is why she has trouble with her throat chakra at this time.
Like being
She has
hanged or
been
something like
hanged.
that?
She has been hanged. She has been strangled.
Okay.
She's been suffocated.
Poor dear. This is what happens when you come to the earth and you're a beautiful vibrating soul, huh? They just want to call you a witch and get rid of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Rose, is there anything that we can do to let go of these traumas, to forgive everything that happened in all these lives, and the victims and the perpetrator, the mistakes she makes, and the mistakes that everybody else made? Can we let that stuff go right now in today's session?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
She knows to understand that people are always acting for what they think is good.
Right. Right. They
Just
do what they think is right.
decided.
Okay. So all she needs to do is to forgive any lifetime and any person that trespassed against her that had anything to do with her neck. And her neck should start feeling better, and that will start opening up faster, right?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything in accordance with that that I haven't thought to ask for that needs to be asked for?
No.
All right. Thank you very much, Rose. Okay, so oh, let's talk about new colors coming into the world. What can you tell us about new colors, Rose?
There are more colors than there are colors that you know of, and that's all I can really say.
Okay, and eventually, it's not so much that there's going to be new colors. It's just that we'll be able to see more of them that we can't see now, right?
Yes.
So maybe like the rods and the cones in our eyes are going to kind of get upgraded over time.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. All right. Why does she see purple when she closes her eyes?
In part because of her aura, which
Mm-hmm.
also at the moment acts like one of the last veils.
Her aura is causing her to forget things.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's protecting her.
Yes, she doesn't see through it yet.
Okay. And that is as it's supposed to be at this time.
Yes, she'll be able to see some shapes, but she can't see fully through it.
Okay. And then sometimes she sees some other colors too. Is that just because her aura is in a different place on that day, or is that because she
Yes.
transported her? Okay.
Everybody's aura is constantly changing.
Sure, sure. Depending on how much sleep you got and what you ate and how much stress you had.
Yes, emotions, feelings,
Okay. Okay.
thought.
Now this one's really interesting to me. It seems like I had put out a video on Lilith on some Facebook page, and she saw it, and it made her really emotional. And this is what caused her to come see me today. Can you tell me why that video made her feel so emotional? That she was just walking around listening to it in the background.
She has ties.
Mm-hmm.
She's watched a lot of that.
Okay. So back when they were doing the genetic experiments and things like this.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of what we might call the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Okay. And so would she have been associated with the ones that were doing the experiments, or the ones that was being experimented on?
Both.
Okay.
Both. She was more associated to the ones that were experimented on.
Okay. Okay. And the reason she got emotional from this is because she lost family members in that time. She was injured. She misses that time. Why? Why was she emotional?
There was a mixture.
Okay. Was it done specifically just so that she would come seek me out and we'd have this session?
There are no coincidences.
I love it when you say that. I really agree with that. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that she needs to know about that time, that life for her that will help her?
This is her second chance.
This one right now is her second chance from something that she thinks she messed up that time.
Not something she messed up. This is her second chance to bring it back home.
Yes, because she had a goal. She incarnated for a certain reason that time, but it was just beyond her. It was more than, it's not just one person can't make all the
Yes, this
decisions.
is why one of the big roles she has at this time is empowering women.
Oh, okay. In any specific way?
Helping them build personal power, confidence.
Okay. Oh, so what's her relationship with Lilith then? Does she know Lilith? Was she Lilith? Is she related to
We don't
Lilith?
care to disclose that at this time.
All right, thank you very much. All righty. Thank you. Let me see what else I got for you guys. You guys are doing great. How's her body holding up? How are you guys holding up? Is everybody okay?
I'm all right. I have to pee, but I'm otherwise okay.
All right, good. Rose,
Oh, wow.
can we ask that a body scan be done? Has one been started on her?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I would like to ask anything. If you see anything in this body that I need to know about, please let me know, especially if we're talking about like tags, attachments, negative entities, anything that needs to be specifically healed, please let me know as that's going on. And as that body scan is going on, is it okay if I ask you a few more questions?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I see that a lot of her guides are these ascended masters. Should she be doing something to reach out to them on a regular basis, just as she's reaching out to the fairies on a regular basis?
He does.
Okay, she already does that then. Okay. And how about trance medium work and channeling? Is that something that she should be spending time on? It seems like she's got so much else on her plate already.
Yes, but not a terrible amount.
Okay.
Her
Okay.
channeling comes naturally. All she has to do with that is remember to write it down.
Okay. So that she can remember what was said.
Yes.
And basically, she would just use this in times of need, where she wants to get some information and she doesn't want to bother me, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not something that's like super crucial to her healing work or anything like that, but it's just a way that she can. It's a natural thing that she does, and she just needs to not fight it and to use it as it comes naturally.
Yes.
All right. How does her current line of work affect her spiritual progress, if
Takes
at
up her
all?
time.
Just takes up her time?
Takes up her time.
Okay.
And it can lower her vibration, but not for long.
Oh, okay. That's good.
For a
And
moment.
okay. Okay. And because I wondered about this with myself. Like I used to be a salesman back in the day, and I would meet, let's say 10 people a day, and shake hands with them and rub up against them and have long conversations with them, and things like this. These types of exchanges of energy not a big deal, other than just the amount of time it takes up.
Yes.
Okay. What
She,
about, go ahead.
she's well protected and she knows how to further protect herself.
Right, because she takes, she does good, what we call like spiritual hygiene.
Yes.
Okay. And also she has a good enough sense about people to know that, oh, this isn't somebody I need to be interacting with.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So for the most part, she's really, it's not hurting her too much, and it's mostly serving the highest good at this point in time.
Correct.
Okay. So let me
At
ask you,
the time, she's actually helping some people through that at times.
yeah, because there's people that are lonely or sad or need some kind of encouragement or things like this.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So let's talk about some people that are in some other lines of work that might be a little risky here. What about, and just say like your average person that's not super enlightened. So what if you were like a bartender? Is that going to leave you more susceptible to bringing home attachments?
Yes, but any career is more about how you feel in that career rather than what it is.
Yes, because it's your reality. It's subjective. And so kind of like what you believe in and the energy you bring to it is the energy you're going to take away from it.
Yes.
So if you go into work every day as a bartender and you're happy and you love to bartend and you're going to give people drinks and they're going to have a good time and then you're going to go home happy. And so you're not likely to pick up anything negative and take it home with you.
Correct.
Whereas if you come in and you don't like this job and you're just dragging, then whatever things are going to see you and say, oh, let me just hop on this bartender instead of one of the customers.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Appreciate that. And so would the same thing apply to, let's say, like police or firemen, paramedics?
It's still individual.
Okay. Once again, it's kind of like the energy you bring to it is energy you're likely to get out, or your attitude towards it, your outlook.
Your attitude and some people fit in certain careers and some fit in others.
Oh, right, right. So as an example, let's say that my family was always police officers, and so they pushed me to become a police officer or a priest or whatever it is that's a family job. But that job has nothing to do with me. But I go into it to make everybody else happy, and now I bring home all the negative aspects of that job.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. So if people are out there and they're being pushed to do the family line of work, if it's not your calling, it's not your calling,
Yes.
right? You got brothers and sisters to go do that or whatever, right? It's not your problem. Okay. So any line of work can be fine for the person that is suited to that line of work, typically.
Correct.
Okay. I would have guessed, except for maybe like soldier, something like that, right? If you're out killing people, that can never be good, right?
Usually not.
Usually not. Yeah. Okay. And I got way distracted there. All right. So let me think if there's anything else I want to ask on this here. So even if you was like an exotic dancer or something like this, as long as you're going into it and you say, you know what, I'm going to make a bunch of people happy tonight, and you go home happy, and it doesn't, it's not a soul stripper, it doesn't hurt you in any way as long as your head is right.
Correct.
Wow, super cool. Super cool. Okay. All right. So what's up with the lemon balm? Why was that one brought up specifically?
It's one of the plants that is grown in this area that she could keep outside on the porch.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Perfect. Is there like any like woods nearby her or something, or a community garden nearby her somewhere, or somewhere she could just go throw some seeds out and let stuff grow on its own?
No.
Okay. What about the? I noticed at her sacred place there was the mushrooms that with the red with the white polka dots. Is there anything she needs to know about those, or does she just like them and that's why they're there?
She just loves mushrooms.
Okay. I have another friend that's been getting into mushrooms a lot lately too. Is there anything that we want to tell the world about mushrooms in general, at least the good ones?
They can be very healing,
Hmm.
and they can also aid in communication, all of them.
Really? Even like
Yes.
the not the ones you would think of as being psychedelic.
Yes, and communication with your own body, even.
Wow. What if somebody wanted to learn about this? How would they research this? I mean, I bet if I Google communicating through mushrooms, I'm not going to get much.
No.
Like secret properties of mushrooms, maybe, or best mushroom for communication. How can I research this?
Ask your guide.
There you go. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. All right. With the body scan, I know I got it started kind of late, but can you tell me, is there anything in this body that we need to know about, that I need to know about? Needs attention?
No.
No? Okay. And I can ask that it be ongoing and whatever needs to be done will be done, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Is there anyone else that wants to talk to her today that's there?
No.
Okay. And is there anything that the higher self, a message that the higher self wants to get through to her today?
Stop doubting yourself.
Stop doubting yourself.
Hmm.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rose. I really appreciate you. I hope that I will have an opportunity to come back and converse with you again someday. She probably won't need me, but I'm always willing. And if you guys ever need me for anything, always send people to me, okay? I'm assuming you guys have other fairies running around on the planet right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Penny.
Yeah, so I just want you to know that I'm here for you, and if you ever need me in any way, I'm happy to help you. I appreciate you.
Thank
Yes, thank you.